Hi, I'm Mike Redwine of the Louisa Project 2027, where we discuss education, entrepreneurship, and innovation. Today, our guest is Emily Pascual. She's a community developer for PreK12 Plaza. This is going to be the first of several shows we're going to do. We're going to introduce, well, not really introduce. We're going to feature a educational product, whether that be EdTech, whether that be whatever, okay, a new method of doing things. But right now we're discussing PreK12 Plaza, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. We're gonna talk to Emily right now. Emily, community developer, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Emily Pascual. I'm the community developer for PreK12 Plaza, and we focus on giving any child who wants an opportunity to learn the tools that teachers need to really give them the level of learning that they deserve. We believe in leveraging technology to really serve each child. And I'm here to cultivate the community. I meet teachers at trade shows, online, and really get build this community up where we are passionate about bringing the next level of technology to each child, and to really have education work for children.
All right, great. That's perfect. All right. So we're in a good space. Okay, so we're gonna start with the questions. Just a little freestyle every once in a while, and I'm gonna ask Emily crazy questions because I just want to get smarter on this stuff, and we all should try to get smarter on this stuff. And it sounds like PreK12 Plaza is really on the cutting edge of helping kids who would normally be, well, underserved communities. Let's put it that way. All right, let's start off with just an outline of what PreK12 Plaza is, if you don't mind, ma'am.
Sure. So we have a cross-platform digital teaching tool for teachers, parents, administrators, and students. So you could use it on an iPad, no matter the level of technology in your classroom. And we offer math and language arts resources for all grades, pre-K all the way up to 12th grade, and really focusing on what matters throughout those years. In 12th grade and on, you get SAT words. And we offer everything from ebooks and printables to even virtual reality and 360 career videos. So we really want to make learning engaging and also make it leveled, so each child gets the right resources for them.
There are millions of at-risk students who reside in underserved communities where success is not the expectation, but rather the exception. We are on a mission to change that. At PreK12 Plaza, we believe that education is the only sustainable equalizer, and we aim to bridge the achievement gap. We do this by using technology to combine the best quality education in language arts and math together with the strongest parent and teacher engagement tools in the EdTech industry. PreK12 Plaza is accessible from anywhere on any device with an internet connection. Our online curriculum is fully bilingual with 6 leveled bilingual themes released each week in math and language arts. We believe in building sustainable relationships between parents, teachers, and administrators. Our parent dashboard keeps parents and educators on the same page by allowing parents to track their child's performance, receive text messages from their child's instructor in their native language, and receive just-in-time intervention with our trouble and grouping reports. Certified teachers in English and Spanish have collaborated to provide you with access to multi-leveled instructional materials, including ebooks, comprehension exercises, vocabulary sets, educational videos, songs, animated videos, games, and much more. We also include SAT vocabulary in all the high school level ebooks. Peer-to-peer learning has been proven to be the most effective and efficient way of learning for students, and at PreK12 Plaza, our TALES program, or Teach As I Learn, helps students to become the protagonists of their learning experience by allowing them to create lessons for themselves. PreK12 Plaza also provides access to tools that promote college readiness and career exploration. Our Learning Champions initiative connects students with real STEM professionals, increasing a student's desire to become a science, technology, engineering, or math professional. With every click, PreK12 Plaza is providing children in underserved communities access to a quality education while building sustainable relationships between parents, teachers, and administrators. By capitalizing on groundbreaking technological advances, delivering practical resources for learning, and creating just right curriculum concepts, PreK12 Plaza has positioned itself at the head of the EdTech industry.
And like I said, I watched the video, and I was something that really caught my eye was the kids were teaching as they're taught. Now that we understand what PreK12 Plaza is, let's get a rundown of what you do. I know you mentioned a little bit about it when we got started, but give us a quick rundown of what you do in the organization.
Yes, I do a couple things in the organization. It's an EdTech startup, so there we all wear a lot of hats. So we go to trade shows and talk about our platform. We do professional development in school, so we'll do SAT prep with our platform. We also help teachers craft their curriculum using what we offer, and then my role in that is to show the community what both we offer, but also listen to what they need and add value in that space. So that could be contributing in Twitter chats or engaging on our own. We had a really fun back to school chat. And a lot of those were homeschool moms who were looking for resources for back to school, and they're making their own hours and how that works for them. So it's really about listening to the community of educators in whatever space they are, and I'm there to meet them and their space and add value to both bring what we have, but also share information and ideas around blended learning and leveled learning, all of these things that are changing that weren't included when I was in school, but now everybody who has children or invested in education is really involved in learning about and growing in this space together.
Okay, great. Wow, you're a walking commercial. That was good. I got a quick question. What is blended learning and leveled learning? What are those two things for those of us who are not education program savvy?
Yeah, so it's really great. So when you have a blended learning curriculum, that means mixing in the brick and mortar style of education with technology. So if you have a smart board, which a lot of students have, even one-to-one Chromebooks, you can blend these tools or an iPad into your classroom and teach with it. So you can take this iPad that's kind of just a tool and use it for teaching. And how do you blend that? And it's kind of up to us as educational entrepreneurs to give you these tools that aren't just YouTube, that have this more of a content that's rich and enhances what your kids are going to be learning. And whether that's a fun song to get you excited about the next concept that your kids are learning, or it's an exercise where they can play games on their phone that are educational. So we want to blend these traditionally kind of opposite tools. It used to be you had to put your phone away at school, but now we're incorporating it with what we're learning. So we blend it together and we make it both engaging and educational.
All right, that is awesome. All right, so let's go with leveled learning. Is that all mixed in there?
Leveled learning is incredible because what I hear all the time from teachers is we have to teach the middle, but that isn't really helping anybody because there are kids on the extreme and in the middle who aren't going to get what they really need. So what we really are passionate about with leveled learning is to make sure that there's nobody too frustrated because it's really difficult and they're struggling to keep up with the content in the classroom, and there's nobody who's really, really bored because they're way past that.
Too slow, yeah.
Exactly. So we want to make it where you can teach the same content. Your theme is about Mother's Day. We'll give you 4 or 5 reading levels for each of those themes, and your students can have the exact right reading level for them. And you can monitor how well they're doing throughout and see, is this the right one? Should we reassess? And the child feels very personally cared to and catered to that they wouldn't normally get in a big school. But we want to make this accessible, especially to schools that are underfunded or have a lot of students that they have to cater to. You might have 15 different reading levels in one classroom.
Okay. All right. I'm getting smarter as we go. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So, explain what's in, I noticed that you guys are very adamant about the multicultural piece. So explain that to me, please. Explain it to the audience, I guess.
Yeah, there's There's a few reasons why we feel really passionate about this, and that's mostly because right now only about 2% of textbooks or in textbooks only about 2% of characters that have a multicultural background, which is not good because it doesn't, one, represent America, and two, it doesn't help children who come from those backgrounds to see themselves as scientists, as doctors, as these characters that are heroes. So for us, it's about showing kids that they can fill any role, and there are people like them in every role. And so we really care that our materials and our content and our books have people that look like them, that came from backgrounds, maybe they didn't know English when they came to the country, but they're a doctor now, or they're at NASA. So, we want to make sure that they know that these stories are out there. And it's the statistics behind this is that when you have a book and somebody looks like you in that media, you learn it better. So it's not just about the feeling great and knowing that you can achieve anything, but it's about also getting them to achieve that academically. So it's a blend of both. We really think that it's great to see those things, but also it helps our kids really learn.
That provides great value. That's a great way to put it. Thank you very much. Okay. Man, you're good at this. All right, let's run down. You're in your video and on your website, you guys talked about closing the achievement gap, which is huge. So how does PreK12 Plaza fit into closing those gaps?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything we've touched on. It's a little bit of the leveled piece, the assessing piece, that being able to make teaching easier for the teachers, especially when you're low on resources. We give you thousands of resources at your fingertip. You could type in 5th grade, I only want to see it at this reading level because I know this is what my kids are looking for. And then that achievement for those kids is done so much quicker than a teacher having to spend the extra hours to make sure that they're providing the right kind of attention. So for us, it's about making teaching a little bit less of a long chore for them and getting kids that right content at the right level, and that the teachers can be confident that what they're giving the kids isn't going to be just anything on YouTube. It's going to be something that's curated, and we have other teachers that put up their own content as well. So you can also look up other teachings from the teachers, from other students, and we protect all the students' identities. They come out as future engineer, and they all pick an avatar that is based on a future career, so they can think about those career goals early on. And for us, it's about getting kids to not just think about those careers, but also to see how they've blossomed, how they grow, what's an early stage scientist versus a mid-career and a dedicated supervisor. So getting them to see that there's all these different aspects of being a professional, and that starts with feeling confident that you can grow and expand your own education opportunities, because our brain is a muscle, and we have to know that we're going to use it and grow and not feel like these levels are kind of where we're fixed in, but ones that we can improve on. So we want to close that achievement gap by making it both engaging and also really measured. Without those two, then you're kind of just hoping that you're helping, but we want to make sure that the teachers know exactly how it's working in their classroom.
Okay, all right. You mentioned assessments and assessing the students. Of course, the big boogeyman right now is over assessment in schools. How do you guys balance to keep from becoming obsessive about assessment and still kids learning? How do you guys work that balance out?
Right. I 100% agree. Teaching to test has really taken away from the beauty and the magic of learning. So what we try to do is that when you're learning, it's also assessing on an administrative side. It's not something that you have to be constantly taking tests to understand where you are in a classroom setting. So the teacher can start off and kind of give their kids a contextualization of the material by having them do a vocabulary set. And that vocabulary set will get them familiar with what they're going to learn in the ebook. And in the exercises afterwards, they can see exactly how long it took them to answer each question, and they get badges. And the badges are encouraging to the kids to know exactly where they stand. And it also kind of gives them this competitive edge. You know what? I want to be a master of that topic. I'm just an intermediary right now, but it gives them this kind of ownership over where they want to go and goals to set. And that's kind of where we are. We're not about having, you know, millions of evaluations, but we do believe that reporting helps you assess what levels the children are on right now, so that you can bring them to that next level. And so after a week, we kind of do it about a week or every 2 weeks, you can see where the children have fallen in the assessment pattern. Are they a beginner or mastering that reading level? And then you can properly put them on that right next step. So it's about encouraging them. It's not about placing them in one box or the other.
Okay, all right. Because I, like you said earlier, a lot of stuff like this wasn't available when you were younger. It obviously wasn't available when I was younger. But one of the things that I came across here when we came back to the States in 2010, that there were in the small rural school that my kids started off at. It was an excellent school. It was a small rural public school called Orange Crossroads Elementary in Alabama. And one thing that I'd never seen before is that the special education kids with special needs kids were in the classroom with the needs kids. I was like, how does that work? And then I realized that, okay, it's a little extra work for the teacher, but the kids really, they learn compassion. They learn to help each other. They learn so much just by having different types of people in that classroom. And I that was amazing to me. I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, empathy is such an important piece of what it is to be human. So the faster and earlier we can cultivate that in our students, the better. And I think for us, it's really important that you have the topic and the theme you want to get across to your students, but that you don't have to divide them in a separate classroom, that you can give them that same lesson, but they don't have to feel different just because they're at a different level than their peers.
That's great. All right. How do you guys expose kids to STEM, now STEAM? How do you guys work that?
So we do have an entire section of our platform that's dedicated to STEAM careers. And part of that is on our end recruiting professionals that are our learning champions, so to speak. And they tell their stories, and we give them an extensive interview process. And in these stories, their stories become books, and their books become cartoons, and their cartoons become exercise sets. And even for the older kids, those become SAT words for them to learn. So it's this kind of comprehensive look at what it means to be a professional in the STEAM career. And we try to recruit a lot of multicultural candidates, a lot of women. We want to show that this is an inclusive career path, that you need to see who is in this career in order to feel like this is something that you can also be part of. And beyond just being a part of it, but also to hear their struggles. A few of our top scientists, actually our top reviewed book is Elena, who's a scientist at Johnson & Johnson, and she came to this country at 18 and didn't know any English, and she was able to really push through and discover through a human physiology class why she loves science. And then beyond telling that personal story, we want them to feel immersed in that space. So we give them a 360 view of the laboratory, and in that 360 view, you have the option to go into virtual reality with our learning champion and really see their space. If you want to go into a NASA spaceship, you could do that. If you want to see what it looks like to be inside a science lab, you can really feel invested. And that's kind of our, our avenue and a pressure point for kids to feel like, okay, I'm inspired now. Now I want to read more about this. Now I want to research what this career can be like for me.
Oh, that's great. I'm going, the Louisa Project, we're going to be interviewing some people in the STEAM field. I have a geneticist lined up. I have a published artist lined up. I have a few writers lined up. Once they're completed, I'll send you a link to what we did, and link you up with them, and maybe they can help out with your project.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah, we always are looking for more professionals to feel like they can give back to education and show kids, their journey and their past. Sometimes that is the most powerful thing to a child, is to see other people's journey and to hear about it and to feel personally connected to them. And in one way or the other, it could be, a book, or it could be a song in a cartoon. We try to make it to kind of cater to every style of learner. And now that we know that there are different styles of learners, we should have content for each style.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. I'm jumping around now. Talk about different styles. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, different styles of learners?
Yeah.
So one of the great things is that our themes come with learning bundles. So every theme will have a video attached, because sometimes in order to really get a child's attention, they need to feel engaged in a visual sense. And other kids are going to get it more from the vocabulary set, and other kids are going to get it more from reading the entire story. So we want to make sure, or the exercise if they're a kinesthetic learner. So to know that, right now it's kind of skewing towards visual and kinesthetic because of how technology has been, such an integral part of what kids do with their free time now, that we need to make sure that they aren't, sitting in a desk and feeling like they're not engaged in the same way that they can be with the same tools that they use for entertainment, that they could use it also for education. And not just in a gamification style way, but in a real, this is a curriculum, but it's also a really engaging one, so it feels really fun.
Okay, that's great, because I know I coach for a long time, geez, and I also teach martial arts, and one thing that kids, they want to feel like they're having fun, whether they're really having fun, whether it's really fun or not. They want to feel like they're having fun, and that's so integral to learning. Okay, speaking of, let's go on. I loved, I think I mentioned it earlier, I loved how you had the kids reteaching what they've learned. Could you go into that a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. Our reteaching is very important to us. It's kind of our magic formula, so to speak. So, the teacher will have them read a book, they'll do the exercise, and then kind of preparing them for that, assessment or a test or a quiz, you have the kids reteach, and that gives you, as a student, ownership over what you've just learned. And beyond that, other students are way more receptive and interested, engaged for whatever reason, because it's peer-to-peer learning, and that's just the science behind it. Peer-to-peer learning is one of the most effective and efficient ways to teach students, and they want to hear about what the take of their classmates are. So part of what you can do on our platform is have kids write their own ebook. So everything that we offer, videos, books, video games, the kids can make themselves. And so the kids can make their own book on Labor Day, for example, and they can all assess their own, they can reflect. So they read the book, they give a comment. I really thought page 3 was really interesting. I love the picture you put up about the picture of the flag that you put on that page. And then they can all read each other's book, and without even noticing, they're learning that 15, 20 more times. They're reading each other's work and they're excited about it. So there's this level of interest that you get when it's a peer that you're reading, and also when you have it when you were seeing that same material but in a different way, your brain is absorbing it a little bit deeper and a little bit more. So we find that kids are ecstatic about using the reteaching tools and seeing their friends on so we have a leaderboard, and the top ones of the week make it up there, and they love to see their friends and see themselves. So it's about making this style of learning, peer-to-peer learning, not just more accessible in the classroom to give them the tools that they can do that, but give the kids kind of, a way and a structure around using it. So if you have peer-to-peer learning without a structure, you might not reap the same benefits. Kids need to know why they're doing this. You can be on the leaderboard if you if your classroom and even outside the classroom, people can respond to and really find how you're teaching this engaging. So give the kids the ownership of being really excited to be, on this, be a leader in their community. And then you have their friends and their peers excited to see what they have to say.
That's amazing. I wanted to back to my martial arts background. One of the things my teacher always says is that as a teacher, the quickest way and the most effective way for people to learn is for them to teach as early as possible. Once they master a skill, try to get them to teach it with supervision, obviously. With supervision, once they master a skill, get them to teach it so they can see it from a different angle. It makes an amazing difference, to my mind, in my experience, and to how kids and adults too, how they absorb the material, and it's really amazing to see.
Yeah, it's so true. It also builds a sense of confidence.
Absolutely.
There is a saying that says, the person doing the talking is doing the learning. So,
yeah, absolutely. I never heard that before. That's very good.
Yeah, when you have them talking, you have them engaged and using all of their senses to really teach themselves.
Okay, that is awesome. And also, one thing I noticed about this model is that the kids, there's a leaderboard, but you don't get on the leaderboard unless you're helping others. And that goes back to the empathy piece. And it also goes to how you get to long-term success, not just, crabs in a barrel or just climbing over other people and getting what you want and moving on. That's good stuff. That is really good stuff. Okay, so all right, let's tell us a little bit about the reporting / monitoring system for PreK12 Plaza.
Yeah, so when you're coming in it from an administrator, teacher, or parent landing page, and you really want to see what your class or your children are up to, you get a quick snapshot. And that snapshot's going to tell you the last thing your students read, the amount of pages they read, and you can see, okay, some classes are reading more than others than their homework, and some aren't, and you can really assess just really quickly how they're doing. You can go into each student's profile and see how long it took them to answer each exercise question, and then you can see their badges. And with the badges, you can kind of assess after a couple weeks if they're in the right reading level, or if they belong in a higher, more advanced, or maybe they need a different style of learning that lesson. Maybe you want to assign them the vocabulary set because that might be what's holding them back, or maybe they need it in a visual. So, or you can do a printable with them and get them to that same space where their peers are. And it's a really good way to quickly see where they are through the snapshot, and then individually see where each child is. And then from that individual's page, you can even have them record themselves on each book. So the audio up to grades 3 automatically plays for students. And then after that, we offer audio, but you click to hear it. And then we also, next to it, offer the option for students to record their voice. So if you're worried about
really good
speech or development, you can really have them, okay, read these 5 books, and it goes right into their private folder, and you can assess, okay, you know what, I think I need to send this to the reading specialist, one email, reading specialist. And then the time that the reading specialist has with the students can be focused on early intervention and correcting the problem, and not assessing. So we want the assessment to happen while the learning is happening, so that when you're ready to address those issues as they come up, you can do that with the confidence that you know exactly where it is, instead of spending hours trying to assess where a child is because you have maybe a hunch. But with the recording aspect, you can really see, okay, maybe it's just the THs, or maybe we need to add this phonetic piece to it, and really know how and where the child needs help. So we really believe that our assessment tools, goes beyond the simple A/B and satisfactory, unsatisfactory. Really show you exactly where a child is with their reading and math.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So, I'm sorry, did you have anything else on that one? Can you hear me? Or did I drop out?
I can hear you.
Okay. Do you have did you have a question?
So, sorry, can you
I'm
repeat?
sorry. I'm sorry. Did you have anything else to say on the last question for that last question?
Oh, no, that was perfect.
I'm sorry. I'm a confusing guy. All right, here we go. Tell me about how PreK Plaza helps kids practice. We're not going to call it homework. We're going to call it practice.
Practice. So the great thing about our platform is that the teacher can decide how and when they want them to practice. You can practice with a book that the teacher created, or you can practice with the book that you've created, and you can assign that ebook or exercise or video to 1 to 2 or to the whole class. So you can really individualize how your kids practice their assignments at home and how they're using that time. You can make it more about them creatively making something and engage them in like more of a makerspace style of a book or a project. Or you can have them listen to other people's books and read what your class has been making in class. So it really is flexible. We say that we give you the cut and paste option for practice. It's not a one size fits all. So it really does fit our individualized mission so that you can give each child exactly what they might need. And if you wanted to, you could give the standard, these are the exercises for the day, or you can have them read, up to the page. But again, it'll be individualized to the child. So you can give them that lesson, but it'll be in their reading level. And when the child goes to practice at home, the first thing they'll see is their assignments, followed by everything on their grade level on the platform. So they can just, they did their assignments for the day, and maybe they want to read another book or watch another video, and they'll have everything at that right reading level that's already been assessed. And then they can look and see all the things that they've favorited, everything they've given a high five, that they liked, but they had their assignment first, so then they can just enjoy the platform. And followed by, lastly, all of the most recent reteachings from their friends and their peers. So that's kind of what the child side of the platform looks like when they're home and practicing. They'll get the assignment, they'll get everything on their reading level, everything they've saved for later, and then all of the reteachings from their class.
All right. That's great. This seems like a really great platform. So I really like what I'm hearing so far. All right, let's move on to how does PreK12 Plaza, how do you guys foster parental and involvement? How do you guys reach out to the parents to help them be involved?
We do this on a couple different levels. Whenever we go into a school or a classroom, we do a PD with the administrators to show them the assessments. Then we do one with the teachers, show them how to use it. And our most important one, besides the assembly with the children itself, is with the parents, because they're the ones that are going to say no computer time, or they're the ones that are going to say, have you checked in on your homework? So it's the same thing. So we try to make the parents really give them a run through of how it works, but also how they can also be really involved in their child's academic life. It's less about, oh, okay, sign my test grade, and more about, oh, I know exactly, how well, exactly what book you're reading today, and exactly how many pages you've read. I know my mom used to ask me how many pages I've read every day from school, and, there's really no way to check.
Yeah, it's true.
And I didn't even know either. And it gives the parent and the student this real sense of understanding. You can't really grow if you don't know where you are. And so the parent can see exactly, if they have different kids, they can see all their profiles. And then you can go in and check, okay, their homework, check their homework while you're in line at the grocery store. Try to make it as easy as possible for parents. If they're at a soccer game, they can review what their child is doing right there, or they can do it before bed or on their way to work, and really have access to their children's education no matter where they are and no matter what device they're using, and to see exactly where their child fits in their reading standards. So they could see, okay, I'm noticing, maybe they're not the top of the reading standard for this grade level, but they've improved so much. I feel like I'm really involved. And to feel like you're involved goes beyond just, knowing how they're doing on a test or in a progress report. With our platform, you can see that every day. And that, for me, really helps parents, understand exactly, feel connected, feel young and engaged in the classroom again. And at the same time, it makes them really excited to see where their child's growth goes, because it's about the little things, not necessarily, the big tests, the big standardized. It's about that little assignment that they worked on together, whether it was an ebook project or it was getting that project in together that they made the video of. So we try to make it interactive. The parents can assign things to their children as well. So if they know based on a test score from school that their child needs to improve in a certain area, they could also assign their child things during the year. And we offer a summer victory program because we believe that it's so important to cut summer learning loss, and kids especially that are coming from underprivileged backgrounds lose about 2 months of school during those summer months, and it just keeps the gap gets wider and wider and wider every year. So having about an hour and a half of assignments or practice during the summer week, in 1 week, if you could do 10 minutes a day, you're staying on pace with your class. So we want to make sure that that's easy for the parents to do and that they have those tools to do it, because they're not the education professionals, and they shouldn't have to be helping and engaging their children.
I love my kids, but this summer, my goodness, they had a reading. They had to read a book and then do a report on a couple of different formats. So they got to choose one, do a video trailer or write a report. And man, trying to hunt those kids down to get them to read was a nightmare. Anything to make that easier on me, I'm all for it. Okay.
It is. It's hard, and it's hard to structure that around vacations and to bring a book in a car to the beach. It gets wet.
Yeah.
Much easier when it's on your tablet and in the car. Especially one of the things that we tried to really introduce, and we're rolling out a lot of new applications so that our entire platform you can use on different apps and a bunch of different math games, so they can learn and have fun and feel like reading isn't this stagnant thing that happens in a book, but it happens wherever you are and whatever device you're on.
Okay, this seems really good. All right, okay, so I'm gonna ask my queen for a day question now. I hear in your voice that this isn't just a job for you. I can hear that you're really passionate about education, and that's to your credit. Bravo. And I just want to ask you a question, our Queen of the Day question. If there are 3 things you could change about our education system, what would you change?
I would have to say that, I don't want to sound like I'm repeating my points too much, but I really feel so strongly about focusing on that peer-to-peer learning, because we need that ownership with our students. And if we could focus on that more than test scores, that would be part of it. I would love programs to help children grow their emotional intelligence and promote empathy in schools as well, because that's something that they take beyond the classroom. That's something that they take into society, and that's the character building that we need to be doing in schools more than, teaching them how to fill out a certain box. And you teach them how to interact with each other in real and important ways. And I love that your child had a positive experience in a diverse classroom setting where different levels of ability were able to come together and learn into the same classroom and in the same environment. And I guess finally, I really love the idea of having content that the students can focus on both that leveled aspect, but also that growth mindset aspect, so that you can be individualized to their students' needs and know where you are, but have that perspective that there's no score, there's no reading level that's stagnant, that we are growing, and you can achieve anything. And our whole, my whole mission beyond, the company, but part of what we try to do is to make sure students know that they can ignite that genius in them, and they have that in them. That's not something that's just for a few people. That's something that they all have the capacity to become. So if we can give kids that growth mindset and have also that individual attention for every single child, you know, I would love to wave a wand and be that queen.
All right, great. Come on, you want? I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Did we get to number 3? I'm sorry.
That was 3, yeah.
That was 3. Okay. All right. That's good stuff. Since you're waving the wand. All right, that's good stuff. All right. Man, we covered that. Went fast. You're good. All right. Any final words? I guess we covered everything. Since you saved the world in three easy steps.
If we could, if I also had magical powers with the crown, then yes. Yeah, I mean, for us, we want to use technology to serve every community, and we do focus on first generation immigrants and at-risk students, but this is the tool that can be used in every classroom, and that's why we want to focus on the ones that have been traditionally underserved. But if you're really excited about this mission, like you are and I am, I would invite anyone watching to join our community. We are on Facebook and Twitter, and we have, you can tweet us at PreK12 Plaza, or tweet me at Emily at PreK12 Plaza. Or no, it's E. Marie Pascual. My email is Emily at PreK12Plaza.com. We love to hear from educators, and we are having an education blog that's going to be rolling out this fall. So I invite you guys to share your experience with technology in the classroom, the roller coaster ride that is implementing these new technologies with students in an educational setting. So definitely join our community and get in touch with me if you have any questions or want to try it out.
All right, great. All right, so I'm going to add that to the blog piece when I put this up. Is that join your community, join the PreK12 community, PreK12 Plaza community. Okay. All right. I guess that's it. I'm gonna do my outro. Stick around for a second. I got a couple of questions on the side here, and I guess that's it. Man, that was quick. That may be the quickest one yet. All right. This has been the Louisa Project 2027. We interviewed Miss Emily Pascual. She's a community developer. I just want to say community organizer. She's a community developer for PreK12 Plaza, which is an EdTech startup. We've learned a lot here. Emily was really good at this. So you guys listen up, learn what you can. Listen to this 3 or 4 times if you need to. There's a lot of good stuff here. If you're an educator, reach out. If you're a student and you think that PreK12 Plaza may be good for your school, reach out. And maybe Emily can set something up for you. That's that. And I guess that's it for me. Again, I'm Mike Redwine. You know where to reach me if you're on this podcast. And that's it. Have a good one. Bye.